In the early 90s, a lot changed for G.I. Joe, from a new animated series with Deke to the proliferation of sub-teams and the end of the comics. One thing that's been consistent, albeit leaned into a bit more, was the gimmick character and pulling in ideas and designs from other areas of pop culture and sports. So today we're taking a look at one part of that. Today is all about Captain Gridiron. Let's talk about him. Thanks for watching JLS Comics. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I upload videos just like this every week. Alright, let's jump into our story. Terrence Lydon was born in Evergreen Park, Illinois. It's a town notable for producing a slew of MLB pitchers, the drummer of Disturbed, Wayne Huizenga of Blockbuster, Florida Marlins, and Miami Dolphins fame, and Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. While Terrence was growing up, he loved and excelled at American football. In fact, when he went to West Point, he was the QB for the Army Black Knights, the Academy's football team. As a star player, he had to keep his grades up as well, and he did, in fact, graduating in the top 10 of his class. After graduating, Terrence was offered a position at U.S. Army War College, but he turned it down in favor of an infantry command position at the company level, wanting to be, as his file card says, where the action is. It said that his ability to make plays and read the football field translated well to his tactician ability to analyze a battlefield. And it was this skill set, along with his hand-to-hand combat prowess, that drew the attention of an outfit called G.I. Joe, and so they recruited him to their team. Terrence tried really hard to be liked by his new team, which wore thin on them, and this effort was punctuated by his John Wayne impressions and his slew of football puns. Sports-themed Joes, as I mentioned, were all the rage at the time, from Bazooka to Thrasher to William the Fridge Perry to Hardball, Big Lob, and even Big Boa. According to Mark Bellomo's Ultimate Guide to G.I. Joe, Captain Gridiron's proposed names included names like Captain Hardtackle and Captain Lionbacker, an obvious phonetic reference to a linebacker. Captain Gridiron first appeared in Marvel Comics and Larry Hama's 130th issue of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the comic book series, and he also made a blink and you'll miss it appearance in the Devil's Due era of G.I. Joe comics, appearing in America's Elite, where, as a reservist, he appeared in issue 25 with quite literally the entire roster. Then he was activated for issue 28 and deployed briefly to Sudan. He stayed on in Sudan for a while, helping with recovery efforts after the war. He did come back stateside for a ceremony at the pit after Snake Eyes was KIA, saving his team from a grenade and from Serpentor when IDW and Larry Hama picked up the original volume again, so this was issue 214. The year Captain Gridiron debuted, he also appeared in a Nintendo game. It was an interesting team composition, being Snake Eyes, Duke, Rock and Roll, Blizzard, Captain Gridiron, and later in the game, Hawk. So Dale Wilson voiced Captain Gridiron for 39 episodes of the Deke G.I. Joe animated series. And here's a few highlights. In United We Stand, Captain Gridiron debuted at the beginning with his first football pun. "We're in your backfield, Pathfinder," he said, raising his weapon above his head as he followed a mobile battle bunker across a waist-deep river. And then on the bank of the river, he was forced to eat dirt when Naugahyde and Metalhead's traps sprung and they attacked the advancing Joe column. But then the Joe team quickly fired back at the two Cobra. And as he continued to fire, Gridiron yelled to Salvo, "I want suppressing fire into that jungle now!" quickly establishing himself as the de facto field commander. And after a rocket barrage attack, Gridiron ran up and said, "Nice play, Salvo." So punny. Later, after Salvo was knocked out by Cobra Commander, Gridiron led the charge. "Eyes up, Cobra Commanders, going long," he exclaimed. Later in the episode, Captain Gridiron's team broke into a Cobra base to rescue Pathfinder in ambush, but were attacked with Cobra mind control gas, and Cobra Commander ended up ordering Gridiron and the team to attack the other two Joes that they had been trying to rescue. Metalhead screwed it all up though, and the Joes forced Cobra Commander to order a Range Viper to activate the antidote. Granny Dearest opened with Gridiron driving a mobile battle bunker and towing a Turbo Flight levitation turbine through Chicago while insulting Pathfinder. "I never thought I'd see the day when Pathfinder is as lost as a rookie at his first scrimmage," he said to him. Pathfinder just went, "Hey." Later, Gridiron was on the levitating train as Metalhead and Naugahyde attempted to hijack it for Cobra. And in an unfortunately timed bull stampede, the bulls knocked Gridiron right out of the train as it moved past a loading ramp. I guess you could say he got sacked. Pathfinder picked him up in a battle bunker, and now Gridiron was in the gunner's seat while Pathfinder drove the battle bunker. Then more bad luck. Metalhead's grandmother emptied a grain silo right on top of the battle bunker and stopped Pathfinder and Gridiron right in their tracks. Toward the end of the episode, Gridiron stood atop of the general and addressed his green shirts while a Cobra weapon bared down upon Chicago. "We need a goalpost defense because if Cobra scores in Chicago, the whole Midwest could fall," he told his troops. Then he radioed Cobra Commander and told him, "Surrender is not something they teach us at West Point, Lizard Lips." During the ensuing battle, the general was hit by Cobra's floating fortress, and the cockpit was filled with smoke, so Gridiron was forced to bail. But, it's G.I. Joe, so they were victorious in the end, and Chicago and the mayor were saved. In victory at Volcania, Gridiron was on Volcania Island at the Joe's R&R center called Club Joe, and Gridiron was, as you'd expect, playing football and winning at it. Hawk was retired and running the R&R center, which partially explains why Gridiron was in charge now. But the Cobra attacked again, and again Gridiron ate some dirt, diving behind some palm fronds to find Hawk in ambush hiding there. After Hawk's jetpack was destroyed, Gridiron ran and jumped in a battle bunker and destroyed a ton of Cobra tanks and choppers with it. Destro's armored column overwhelmed the battle bunker, and again Gridiron was knocked to the ground, but Hawk ran up to thank him for the assist. Cobra ended up taking over a volcano on the island to build a giant lava lift system for a secret cannon, so the entire team had to work together to stop them all. In Pigskin Commandos, Metalhead and Range Viper were building a secret Cobra base in an underground subway station in New York City, which happened to be connected to Sergeant Slaughter's apartment where he was visiting his little sister. Range Viper said he played quarterback for the Piranha State football team, and he played Gridiron's West Point team the year that G.I. Joe recruited Gridiron to their roster. Not sure what that team is, I only know of the Anaheim Piranhas. So anyway, Sergeant Slaughter busted in and said he saw that very game they were talking about, and Range Viper wasn't winning, Range Viper was effectively Gridiron's doormat. After these comments, Slaughter was captured, and this all led to a Joe vs. Cobra football game. The stakes were that if they win, Sarge goes free. If they lose, the Joes would all be Cobra's prisoners. Gridiron said he beat him once and he could beat him again. At the stadium, yes, they got an entire stadium for this, Gridiron kicked the ball off to start the game. Range Viper caught the ball, and on his kickoff return run, Gridiron tackled him. Then Pathfinder snapped the ball to Gridiron, but instead of passing, he ran the ball himself right out of the pocket and down the field and right into the end zone. So then Cobra decided instead of running to use tanks and charge the Joe line. Not to be outdone, Freefall dropped a bunch of Joe vehicles out the back of a Herc, and the whole thing turned into a giant bumper car demolition derby event. Cobra lost the game, and so the Range Viper, instead of losing gracefully, just took off with Sergeant Slaughter. Gridiron tried to give chase, but Metalhead destroyed his avalanche, and Cobra Commander's forces surrounded Gridiron. But Captain Gridiron was able to fly away with the avalanche's attack craft attachment just in time. Gridiron chased after Range Viper, who still had Slaughter on the river, under the river, and on the streets. As the Cobra baddies stole a cab, Lady J showed up with a limo to give Gridiron a ride after the Cobra guys. LJ and the captain rescued Sarge and tossed him in the limo to get away. And Captain Sarge, after the limo was stopped, ended up on a horse and carriage in Central Park, while a big battle erupted right there in the same park. The carriage they were riding blew up, and they were down to just the horse. So Gridiron rode the horse right down into a subway station to get away from the Range Viper, and threw Sergeant Slaughter, still roped up, on top of a moving train, and then he jumped up right on there after him, thanking the horse for the ride. Range Viper captured Sarge again, but Gridiron jumped right after him, being carried away through the air. But it didn't last long as Gridiron lassoed the Statue of Liberty and snagged up Range Viper's helo. At the end of the episode, Gridiron went on a date with Lady J at Studio 55, the club Cobra Commander was just booted from. In an episode called Injustice in the Cobra Way, Gridiron was leading a team to stop Cobra from stealing the USS Constitution. G.I. Joe is going long, Gridiron said as they fired at a cluster of Cobra paratroopers dropping down from the sky. And trying to peer through smoke, Gridiron thought he saw two groups of Cobra heading for the National Archives, but the tailing group were actually G.I. Joe's. Gridiron tossed a stun grenade down to the ground, but it hit his own troops instead and knocked them down. And that's when they ran into a guy named Serpent Man who stopped Cobra from getting away with the national documents. The Deke version of Hector Ramirez, named Jose Riviera, even landed Gridiron and Serpent Man a spot on the front page of the newspaper, The Washington Daily. At an award ceremony, Cobra kidnapped U.S. President Mason and took her into the sewers, so Gridiron and the team headed down there to chase them, splashing through green slimy sewer water in the process. Serpent Man rescued a lady everyone thought was the president, but it turned out to be Zarano. Gridiron flew a retaliator to the Millard Fillmore Memorial using a tracking device that Gridiron had planted on Serrano. And Gridiron revealed that he could see heat signatures with the visor on its helmet. Serpent Man was there with Zarana and Cobra, and she ran away, but Gridiron took out Snakeface with the heels of his boots and a flying sidekick. And Serpent Man tried to fly away, but Gridiron and Heavy Duty tackled them again, and so Gridiron ripped off Serpent Man's mask and revealed that Serpent Man was a helmeted Cobra commander. In D-Day at Alcatraz, Gridiron was in the snowy terrain of Lapland. Gridiron was driving a general when he called in Sky Patrol to take out a bunch of Cobra armored vehicles and tanks in the snow battle. Defeated, Gridiron arrested Metalhead, Destro, and Cobra Commander, although Pathfinder thought it was weird that they'd surrender so readily. But Gridiron chose not to listen to his concern. It turns out that they wanted to be captured and taken to Alcatraz, as it would be a perfect staging area for an attack on the Comstock Lode submarine docked nearby. At the sub, Gridiron took a blast from an explosion as Cobra attacked, and he brushed it off and jumped in a battle bunker to play gunner against Metalhead and his advancing rage tanks. But Cobra stole the submarine anyway, and Gridiron ordered Sky Patrol to sink the Comstock Lode. After Skydive kamikazed the rudder of the sub with a Skyhawk, Topside and Gridiron had the team jump on sailboats to chase the submarine, which was emitting a constant EMP pulse, and without electricity on the sailboat, they could get through it. Cobra managed to airlift the submarine inside Alcatraz, which was now protected by the EM generator force field. So Gridiron said he'd go on a quarterback sneak attack to take out the generator inside Alcatraz, save Pathfinder, who was still in the prison, and stop Cobra. He said he owed it to Pathfinder for not listening to him and his suspicions back in Lapland. Skydive piloted a glider near Alcatraz, again no electricity, so he could get close, and under the cover of a Bay Area fog bank, Gridiron jumped out to parachute down to the prison compound. On the ground, Gridiron ran into a guy named Speedy Brown, whose crazy Polly Shore Gargamel Skeletor laugh rivaled the man he was haunting, Metalhead. Speedy Brown, an ex-con who'd been hiding on the island for 30 years, helped Gridiron break into the prison with his network of escape tunnels. Now with Pathfinder and the Warden to help, they broke into the armory, stole the riot gear and tear gas, and deployed the gas at the feet of Cobra in their makeshift dry dock. But then old Speedy Brown, that rascal, he turned heel, so we're led to believe, and brought Gridiron and Pathfinder as prisoners in front of Cobra Commander. Aha, but not so fast. It was a setup by Speedy, who said that was the only way to save his friends who had been surrounded by Cobra. So Speedy flipped over a table, and they all ran out the door. And they ran right to the engine room to turn off the power, and when they did that, it shut down the EM generator. And with the EM field gone, Sky Patrol was able to clean up to make way for the ground attack, and the day was saved once more. In Metalhead's reunion, Gridiron was with Suzanne Winters as she showed a photo of them from high school, with her in her cheerleading outfit and Gridiron in his number 7 football jersey. They confirmed that they would indeed go to the high school reunion. This just as Cobra attacked and tried to steal the XR-75 battle armor that Winters had designed and mounted on the exterior of the new battle wagon. Instead, Gridiron jumped in the battle wagon and engaged Cobra. Then we learned that Metalhead was also at the same school, and Metalhead was their high school mascot, the old bucket-headed goofball. So then they went to the reunion at the cruise ship, ran into Metalhead, and got through some shenanigans to live and fight another day. And thus ends Gridiron's adventures with the Deke-era G.I. Joe team. Captain Gridiron's first figure was released in 1990. He came with tons of accessories like a backpack, a pistol, football-shaped grenades, a machine gun with 4 missiles on the barrel, a helmet with a visor, and also 2 orange blocking pads. This figure made it onto the box art of the Joe's new Major Storm piloted mobile strike headquarters called General, the same vehicle he's seen with quite a bit in the Deke series. On the box art, he's seen on the top platform of the General, firing missiles while the Locust takes off just behind him. The Fun School version of the figure was painted in a much brighter color scheme. You can see it here. Another Captain Gridiron was released in 2018 by the Figure Subscription Service, but he ditched the dual text USMC T-pattern inspired camo for a green shirt and a matching helmet. Where will he show up next? We don't know. Until then, we've come to the end of our story. That's a wrap on this one, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and you'll be one of the first to know when I upload videos just like this each and every week. I'm Jesse, this is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.